workers they need. If you cannot be there, you're going to leave and go somewhere else. That's the way we used to do it. If you run around, you don't get a job because we cannot plan around you. We cannot build and trust you with wealth for you to manage, with resources for you to manage, with things for you to do in order to get around and reach to everybody. That's what is happening in the book of Matthew chapter 25, 26 to 36. Then you ought to have put my money in the bank, and on my arrival, I would have received my money back with interest. Therefore, take the talent away from him and give it to the one who has the 10 talents. When people entrust you, the politicians are entrusted by the people to work for them for their own interests. They squander it. They waste it. They steal it. They got to be thrown away and discarded. And these are examples of where God allowed power to be. God doesn't create power that is wicked and evil. For you know, some people tell you, oh, God is the only one that gives power because they are in position of power and therefore God is with them. That's a lie, a false doctrine. They use it to indoctrinate people to make them believe that God made them and put them there. No, no, no. You put them there. That was your vote. You are the one that voted and put it. So God has given you the right to choose your leader, and you have chosen to put a wicked and evil man to rule over you. And then you cry to God. So you know what to do. If the wicked and evil man is your leader, get the person out. Or like in constitutional democracy as we have here in America, there are many ways that we can even recall you before the time. But when you say that you are going to do the same thing you have always done by your corrupt practices, by your silence, by your ignorance, by being offered and being bribed for temporarily, you bring the same wicked and evil people. You want me to support you? No. For how can I support wickedness and evil? You are not to say that what is good is evil, and also you cannot say that what is evil is good. Should I, for mercy and kindness and compassion and love, stand against the Lord when the Lord wants to strike you? Or against what God has commanded me to say? Because it may benefit you. You should understand that no member of our church should do that, or be party to it, or support anyone that is in such a place that is against God's plan and God's will, that is against the word of God. Because we do not do that. The soldiers do not do that. Because to do so is to create the impression, like they tell you that God has put them over there, that God makes what is bad and has placed a power that is evil and wicked. That can only come from Satan, not from God. If such a power is from God, then such a power will bring good, and it will do good. If they make a mistake, they will correct themselves and not try to cover it up, or continue to think otherwise and think that God is going to go with them. That's not the way God operates if you know who your father is. You have some responsibility, or some powers that are wicked and evil constituting an evil power. That are not from God. So you have to understand that even in the church, such exists, and such is the one that makes the bad doctrines and false teachings that steal and take people away from God. And Satan already knew that. He already knew. However, remember how he was driven from heaven, causing divisions among the angels because of his beauty, how he thought he was in his power and his majesty, that he is equal to God, and then he talked to people into challenging God. Is that not the exact same thing he did in Genesis? chapter 3 with Adam and Eve. Oh no, it's because that when you eat the fruit, then you will gain the knowledge and be like God. When you begin to think you are God or like God or equal to God, that is your end. Like some people do when they sit in positions of power and the authority, when they sit in churches as general overseers and priests and bishops or whatever the title they go by or positions. They always fail and many always die. So in the message that you are getting today, you are getting a message that is telling you and helping you that as you come and you decide to serve God, to know the rules and ways that you can to please God so that God will be able to trust you and be able to give you the gift that you are deserving on what He already given you and called you to. You got to make it your own. You got to make it work. You have to accept it. It took time for me, having been with the Lord for quite a long time, so comfortable and so relaxed that I didn't really want to, at a point, after I've lost, and my parents stopped me from doing what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. But I believe it's all part of God's design because He has a greater things for me. Because I would have been lost like many who were lost and who are challenged and contend that are not allowed to use their power to work for the good of the people and for the good of the kingdom. Because somebody is over them. That's what the Lord told me personally. No, you are not going to go through the Roman Catholic Church. Even with the seminary, after talking to the graduate school, graduate seminary here in DC, instead he sent me somewhere else. He said, no, because when you go there, they will control you and they will cover you and they will stop your ministry for you to do the work I've been talking to you to do. People that are cover gifts and stop people from using their gift to work for God. But that can only happen if you let them. That's why you are the one that is responsible for that. And going back to Matthew 25, and I'll read from verse 29. For to everyone who has, more shall be given, and he will